See, the poet is full of fears in the first part of the poem. When I have fears, fears about death, fears about the sudden end of his life. And in the second part, that is the conclusion of the poem, the sestet, he realizes that all those fears are baseless fears, because he realizes the truth, he realizes the reality, that everything is temporary. So there is no harm in accepting life as it comes to him. Acceptance of life as it is, that is where the human power lies. That's very good that you asked the question, students. The next poem is A Poison Tree. It's a brief poem. It's a very interesting poem. Another romantic poem by William Blake. A Poison Tree by William Blake. William Blake is also 19th century. All these three poets are British poets, early 19th century poets, romantic poets. Romantic means love for nature, love for the common man, for ordinary life, um, love for simplicity of simple pleasures of life, simple people, solitude. All these are the features of romantic poetry. Poison Tree is a little different. It's by William Blake. And the poet says, I recite the poem. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. If you look at the poem, there are four parts. On the page, you can see four stanzas. And briefly, the poem is about a tree which the poet has called a poison tree. And we all know that tree is a symbol of nature. And the poem is about the poet's experience with his friend and with his foe. The poem is built on contrasts. Friend is a friend, foe is the opposite of friend. Foe means enemy. So possibly, the question as well as the answer occurs in the opening two verses of the poem. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. Wrath means anger. That he was angry with his friend, and he expressed his feelings of anger with his friend, and his anger disappeared. He found resolution in expressing his anger. Then the story begins with the enemy. I was angry with my enemy. I told it not, my wrath did grow. जब दोस्त से नाराज़गी हुई तो उसने दोस्त को उस नाराज़गी के बारे में फो मीन्स एनिमी, दुश्मन. जब दुश्मन से नाराज़गी हुई तो उसने दुश्मन को अपनी नाराज़गी से आगाह नहीं किया, और उससे क्या हुआ? माई रॉथ डिड ग्रो, उसका गुस्सा बढ़ता गया. एंड आई वाटर्ड इट इन फियर्स. Look at the imagery that is being used. Ironically, you can notice that there is use of irony here. You should write on your texts. Ironically, he is watering his fears. He is afraid of his enemy. He has grudges against him, and he is watering these grudges means he is increasing, adding those grudges. Night and morning, day and night, he is busy working on his grudges with my tears. And I sunned it. Sunned means as you plant a plant and you take care to water it and to give it enough sunlight so that it grows. This man, ironically, in the narrator in the poem, ironically, is not growing a healthy plant, a healthy tree. It's the tree of anger, it's the tree of hatred, and he's sunning it with smiles. Smiles means he's being deceptive, he's being hypocritical. Deceptive होता है ना, धोखा दे रहा है. Sweet smiles दे के at heart he is full of anger and hatred, and on the face he is full of smiles. And with soft deceitful wiles, wiles होती हैं tricks, deceit होता है धोखा. So he is giving this soft means very polite, kind, seemingly nice. सॉफ्ट को आप कह लें seemingly nice, deceitful, cunning tricks. And it grew both day and night, as he is all the time thinking about how to avenge himself, how to take revenge from his enemy. Day and night the plant is growing till it bore an apple bright, till there is an apple that grows on that tree. Now this apple is bright, and my foe beheld it shine. Beheld means saw. Old English में behold, beheld, see, saw के लिए use होता है. The enemy has seen the apple. Apple, many critics say that apple should remind us of Adam and Eve, हज़रत आदम हज़रत हव्वा अलैहिस्सलाम के लिए, कि उन्होंने जब जन्नत में, गार्डन ऑफ ईडन कहते हैं ना जन्नत को, जन्नत के बागात में ये एप्पल देखा था और शैतान ने उनको टेम्प्ट किया था, लालच दिलाई थी कि दिस इज़ द ट्री ऑफ नॉलेज एंड यू शुड ईट द फ्रूट एंड यू विल अटेन ऑल द नॉलेज. Likewise, the theme of temptation, you may write theme of temptation. When his enemy looks at the apple, he is tempted to eat it. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. Now the enemy knows that the apple belongs to the narrator. लेकिन वो फिर भी क्या करता है, एंड इन टू माई गार्डन स्टोल, रात को चोरी छुपे वो उसके गार्डन में आया. व्हेन द नाइट हैड वेल्ड द पोल, पोल मीन्स व्हेन द इट वाज पिच ब्लैकनेस, इट वाज पिच डार्कनेस, तो वो चोरी करने के लिए, द फो मीन्स द एनिमी, स्टोल मीन्स स्टेल्थीली, चोरी छुपे उसके गार्डन में घुसा रात के टाइम. इन द मॉर्निंग ग्लैड आई सी, ग्लैड मीन्स हैप्पी. द राइटर, द पोएट, द स्पीकर, द नरेटर, जो भी आप इनमें से वर्ड्स यूज़ किया करें, द स्पीकर, द नरेटर और द persona, or the poet says that in the morning he was happy to see. What is he happy to see? My foe outstretched beneath the tree. Outstretched means he is just lying there, and beneath means under the tree. कि उसका जो दुश्मन है वो मरा पड़ा है दरख्त के नीचे, उसकी डेड बॉडी पड़ी हुई है. So this is the poem that is about the importance of expressing the feelings, not just the good feelings as well as the negative feelings. The poem tells us that all the human feelings are very important, and all the human feelings need to be expressed in the healthy ways, not in unhealthy ways, in healthy ways. That's why he says that in the first part where he shares his feelings of anger with his friend, his feelings of anger go away because he has expressed his feelings, and there is discussion and there is a resolution. But when it comes to his enemy and he has fears of sharing his feelings with him, he does not share those feelings. Therefore, he says that the title of the poem symbolizes the consequences of repressing. Repressing means not expressing anger and avoiding healthy communication, conversation, dialogue, or discussion. He had a discussion. He held a discussion with his friend, and the feelings of differences got resolved. But when it was his enemy, he had hesitations. He has hesitation. He has his fears. Therefore, he does not discuss. He does not engage in a conversation, in a healthy dialogue with his enemy. And then what happens? A tree of hatred, and that's what the writer calls, William Blake, the poet, calls a poison tree. The poison of hatred, the poison of anger, the poison of revenge. That's how the tree grows in his heart, and the fruit that it bore, that was also poisonous. The tree is grown with deceitful wiles, soft, deceitful wiles. He sunned it with smiles. He watered it with fears. So the tree grew day and night. There is you see the poison tree, a poison tree. The title is A Poison Tree. This is symbolic of revenge. This title, A Poison Tree, is symbolic of anger turning into hatred, and hatred turning into revengefulness. And the message of the poem is that conversation, healthy communication, dialogue, discussion is the solution to to put an end to these unhealthy feelings of competition and retribution. Retribution means revenge, hatred and revenge. तो पॉइजन ट्री को आप एज अ सिंबल ले लें, सिम्बॉलिक ऑफ नेगेटिव ह्यूमन फीलिंग्स, एंड दोज फीलिंग्स बिकम destructive. It's okay to have negative feelings, but one should know how to release those negative feelings. One needs to learn how to release the negative feelings. Therefore, the poet says that a poison tree can be avoided. The deep rooted hatred and revenge, bitterness can be avoided by learning to express ourselves in healthy, positive manner. We can say that the poem is built on an extended metaphor. Extended होता है drawn out, long drawn out. एक extended होता है ना, जैसे which is developed in the whole poem. The metaphor of a tree. The metaphor of a tree is both a symbol as well as an extended metaphor, जिसमें वो उसको पानी दे रहा है और सूरज में रख रहा है और सनलाइट से उसको पाल रहा है, और उसमें जो फल निकला है वो भी फिर जहरीला है. So when in human relationships, human beings don't understand the importance of sharing their feelings, holding a safe place for each other to discuss the feelings, to discuss the hurts, the anger, then this happens that people become bitter, their hearts become full of anger and hatred, and that anger and hatred usually is revealed. आपने देखा होगा लोगों के passive aggressive ways. Passive aggressive ways होते हैं कि sometimes they are very passive, smiles, all full of smiles, and suddenly they would turn aggressive. And aggressive means they would pass some negative comment, some satirical observation, satire करना ना, तंज करना. Or the moment you're about to address this negativity, they would again turn back to their passive mode so that they don't get they don't get caught. They will again be all full of smiles, giving you cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance means giving mixed messages. Smiles gives you the message of love, and deceptive smiles, धोखे भरी smiles, that confuse the people. Therefore, the poem is about the importance of holding safe space for each other, where healthy communication, conversation, dialogue, discussion can take place, where the hurts, the grievances can find their outlet, and people live in harmony with each other, with sincerity, honesty, respect, and love, trust for each other. These are the requirements for a healthy relationship. And it is often said that whenever there are grievances, one should talk to the person, not about the person. So instead of talking about the person, how that person has hurt us, we should directly talk to the person, to the relevant person. And if the other person is a healthy person, he would either explain the situation or apologize for the situation, and there would be a healthy communication and a healthy relationship possible.